Are you curious to know what's going on today in the real estate market? Well, I had an epiphany last week, and I can't wait to share it with you. Hi, it's Michele Replogle, Coldwell Banker Realty. Maybe it wasn't really epiphany. It was, I looked on the multiple listing service, the MLS, and it said there were 23 new listings posted in the last 24 hours. And it was like, oh my gosh, it was so exciting. That just, the big list just came up and I was like, oh boy. Now, not a lot of it would really fit what my buyers are looking for, but it was really exciting to think, oh my gosh, we're starting to get some traction. We're starting to get some movement. Some listings are starting to come on. The weather is absolutely beautiful. We had one day of rain and then the sun just came back out and it's great. So that's kind of the good news. The bad news is not so great. The interest rates are going up. Right now, today, March 22nd, 2022, conforming 30-year fixed rate is 4.75. Ouch. The conforming 15-year fixed, 3.875, which is really decent. And then the jumbo, remember, that's above the conforming limit. And it's a totally different loan product. Those rates are pretty decent. 30-year fix is 4.375. So the more you borrow, the less the rate is. So, that's kind of the not so great news. And the other part of that is higher interest rates don't always mean that you're going to get an edge in the market, like prices are going to go down and buyers are going to go away. Unfortunately, we have such a pent-up demand, as I keep saying over and over again. I'm sorry to bore you with this, but there are so many people out there still trying to buy houses that the demand is just staying there. Now, maybe the crazy over list price may not happen, but there'll still be multiple offers. So if, for instance, if a property last year with those lower interest rates was listed at 1.4 and it went for 1.8 and they had 10 offers, this year I'm just throwing this out there. I have no anecdotal proof of this. But say this year you have a house listed at 1.4 and you have 10 offers, you may see it only get up to 1.6. So do you see what I'm saying? It's not going to lessen the demand, and that list price is still going to be the list price is still going to be bumped up by multiple offers. It may just not be bumped up as much. So I'll keep giving you my opinion. This is what I think. I've been through a lot of markets before. I remember one time years ago, I think it was 2006, I sat trying to put together a tour for a buyer, and there were so many listings I couldn't choose. They told me what they wanted, but there was just so much to show them. I didn't know what to do. What I used to do when we had that many listings is I'd have the buyer sit with me and it's like, hey, what do you think? Do you like this? Do you want to go check this out? It's like broker tour. We couldn't even see all the houses. Now broker tour, our broker tour is 9:30 to noon in the mornings. The morning tour is, and that's typically the one I go on because it meets most of the areas I work in. And we meet, me and my colleagues meet at 10. And often we are done by 11:30. And before, we used to start at 9:15. We couldn't start at 9:30. We didn't have enough time for that. We had to make sure we were there at the door at 9:30. And then a lot of agents would hold their house open till 12:30. We would just be out there for hours. So that part's changed. I can only hope I can get a full tour in again. That would be really lovely. Anyway, this week's statistics. For the last 7 days, we have had 65 new listings, which is good. It's good. Really, this week's good news is the change and that there's more listings coming on because our active inventory is 160. And I remember last year about this time, it was about 200 to 210, hovering right around in there. So it's not super exciting in the amount of active inventory, but the momentum is there. Price reductions, we have 10, which is interesting. That may still prove my point where I still think the interest is still there. the sellers may have just got a little bit more excited about the price that they could get versus what they can truly get, but it doesn't mean that they won't get any offers or they won't get any interest, especially once they lower that price a little bit. They'll start to see the activity because the people are there. Pending and contingent, we're up 5. We have 59. We have no transactions canceled. Well, I can tell you part of that also is that we had 4 last week, but we had 0 this week. I can tell you partly is people are making non-contingent offers. So that's like no loan, no physical contingent. I mean, just like we are all in, and I'm going to do a video on that. We're going to talk about being all in as a buyer and a seller and what that looks like. Today we have 33 sold, 22nd of March. Yeah, we're starting to move into the end of the month. So we're going to see our solds kind of bump up because for some reason they always just kind of, even wherever they start in the month when that contract was ratified for the sale of that property, you'll see those solds always kind of tick up right at the end of the month. Expired and canceled, we have 3. We had 3 last week. That's where people get a little over it and they take their house off the market or things change. And then active inventory, we have 160. So what do we have? We have a market that's kind of starting to open up a little bit. You are going to see more listings. I know it. My broker says he's signing lots of listing agreements. I have multiple listings sitting, waiting to get going, but because of their situation, they're not ready to go yet. I think I've mentioned those before. So I think there's a lot of pent up things going on. We kind of might burst open in the summer. I hope so. Now, why? I mean, not just so I can sell stuff. I mean, come on. But when I talk to people, they just get disappointed, especially buyers. It's just like, oh, there's just not much to go see. And part of the whole process of helping them find the right thing is showing them lots of stuff. Now, if you're open-minded as a buyer, you're probably going to be okay because there's always something out there. I'm still selling houses, so I know there's still stuff out there. And if you're listing, I wouldn't worry too much about the increase in interest rates. You might see a little edge off your price, but you're still going to do very well. Our market still has a lot of demand. And if you do work on your property and you get it ready to sell and you create some excitement, or you hire an agent who creates excitement, that way you will probably still get a very good price. What we're probably starting to see is hovering back around 2018, 2019. That was still a really great market. You would see about 5 to 6 offers on a property, and you would see one that would be listed at about 1.1 go for maybe under a little 1.3. Now, at the time, we didn't realize it. It seemed like kind of a crazy market, but we didn't realize that that was kind of a much more saner market that we were going to enter in when the interest rates got pretty much artificially lowered and created this huge influx. That's my take on the market. Now, that's only for Santa Cruz County. If you want to hear any more of my very opinionated takes on real estate, I suggest you subscribe and you will hear something from me weekly, or check out the Realtor Lady. I have lots of good content on there about Santa Cruz and real estate. Hope to see you soon. Bye.